I get it. Love makes you do crazy things, but if you're going to steal a car, why steal a cop car? That's just
don't
worse.
steal a cop car.
That's just worse.
Yeah.
Don't steal a car.
Yeah.
In general, by the way. Okay, rewind. Blank statement. Just don't steal a car. Let's just end on that.
Let's end it there.
Let's start there and end there. All right. Hello, welcome to another edition of Popcorn, a Bucket List. And by the time you're watching this episode, the weather outside could be pouring rain, 70 degrees, or a snowy blizzard. Welcome to Minnesota.
Yeah, could be two of those in the same day, too.
Could be all three.
Yeah.
Could be heck, why not?
This weekend?
Snow during 70-degree weather. It's never happened before. It's going to happen anywhere.
I'm pumped. I think even though we could get rain or snow on Saturday, I'm riding my moped to hockey.
I'll speak at your funeral.
I'm rolling the dice.
You'll be rolling, all right.
Yeah. It
Flipping
could be
over as you slip into the ditch.
It might be a very long what's that called? Where you go? Transmit?
Commute.
That's the word.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Transportation.
I was thinking transportation.
Yeah. I could kind of see what you're looking for there. Anyway, so that's something to look forward to here this weekend. Another thing to look forward to is more movies. See how it kind of segued that into there?
I like it.
This is free, people. This is free entertainment. Anyways, this weekend we see the premiere of Novocaine, starring Jack Quaid, a.k.a., say it with me,
Huey.
Yep. The movie showcases another example of what is called an everyman action hero. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we've talked about these movies before, but we've never really dived into what does that mean? What does that entail? What are some examples? So we're going to do that here today. We're going to talk about everyman action characters, movies, stuff like that. We're going to kind of debate the definition. It's like a lot of things, there's not a set definition.
Yeah.
In the past, I think I've looked it up on like dictionary.com. There's not really a dictionary defined word for this.
Yeah, it's kind of like the everyman action hero. They're all the exact same, but they're all different. All different. It's one of those weird things that you can't really put your finger on it, but when you see it, you know exactly what it is, but you don't know why.
Exactly. But despite the fact that we can't really put our finger on it, we're going to try to anyway. So just out of curiosity, if I were to come up to you and say, what is your definition of an everyman movie character specifically, not so much a movie, but a character, what would you, in kind of rough terms, say?
In my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's a male, usually male, can be female too. But in my head, I picture a male, roughly 30s, 40s, 50s, probably has kids, probably is divorced, maybe not divorced. If he's not divorced, they're just bickering and arguing with each other all the time. Something happens. He's got to prove himself to be awesome, either track some people down, find some clues for something, and then ends up saving the day. And then boom, either A, the family's back together and we're happy and everything's great, or B, he finds the love interest along the way, and relationship with his kids repaired, relationship with the community repaired, alcoholic not anymore. Like that's the
a lot of them are kind of alcoholics sometimes.
Yeah.
You went a lot more specific with yours. I like that. I kind of thought of it in a more generic sense. For me, it's guy next door.
Mm-hmm.
But he or she is literally just guy next door. Like, could be your neighbor. And all of a sudden, they're thrust into this situation that they had no plan or no thought of getting themselves into at any point in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of that's a little bit more of a generic. So here we got two different sides right here. A little bit more specific. I went a little bit more generic with it.
But both of them could be the exact, like,
that's just it. There's no
my character could fit into those, and yours could fit into mine.
There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah.
But to give us a little bit more direction, when I did Google it, nowadays you got these AI overviews that always pop up and everything too. So here's what just shows up when you kind of Google it. Here's what AI Overview comes up with. Everyman action movies feature ordinary characters who face extraordinary circumstances and must act heroically. Pretty simple. That's it right there. So, I don't know, kind of adding that with some of our own ideas. Let's play another edition of a little game we like to call Yay or Nay.
Yay.
Nay. Didn't even rehearse that.
Look at that.
Kind of happened right there. Yeah, so in case you haven't seen it before, I'm basically going to give a bunch of examples of movie characters who, if you kind of look online, are under these lists of top 10 Everyman action movies. And we're going to kind of see if we agree if that counts or nay.
Nay.
We don't think that.
Nay.
Get them off the board.
Get out of here.
And again, this is going to kind of based on our own little definitions. Again, I went pretty generic with mine, but there are certain criteria that I do feel like sort of apply or disqualify someone. We'll get into that more here with some of these. And also just for a little bit of context, when I made the outline here, I redacted all the examples, not because I was trying to hide them from you, just because I wanted your genuine first thought reaction.
I didn't want to see them.
Yeah, so it was just easier to redact them. Plus, it made me feel like it was a lot more like a CIA document.
Yeah, I tried holding my laptop up to the light, but I couldn't see through it.
That didn't work?
Didn't work.
Okay, well, now we know. All right, so let's go over some examples here, and this would kind of give you a little bit better idea of what an everyman action hero type is. So first one here, I put this one right at the top because this is one I did not think of, but I think you're going to like this one here. Bilbo Baggins from the Hobbit trilogy.
Oh!
We think of the everyman as the guy next door, but here we have a fantastical world.
Yeah.
He was literally the guy who was just in the Shire, the guy next door who was in an adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it does he's reluctant to go on the adventure. He goes on the adventure. He does some things that is uncharacteristic of him and hobbits everywhere. But he also does things that are characteristics of hobbits because that's why they brought him. Because they're light on their feet, they can be virtually not seen. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. That's a little more grandiose than I would have pictured your everyday. But it fits in. Yeah. It 100% fits in.
Like I said, it is fantastical to us because we don't think of hobbits as a normal thing. But in this world, the hobbits are just kind of people. Just literally the guy next door there.
Yeah.
So
that's a great pick.
I just found that one to be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought of that one.
I wouldn't have thought of that one either.
Yeah. All right, here's another one. Peter Parker from the Spider-Man movies. Do we consider this an everyman?
This one's hard because he is a superhero. That's whether or not you want to classify it as that. He has superpowers. So for me, I would argue no. Would he be an everyday hero or an everyday person? Yes, but he also shoots webs from his hands and can do all those cool things. So that kind of disqualifies it for me. But, yeah.
Yeah, see, the thing is, because I see your point, because not only is he a superhero with superpowers, but he's considered to be one of the greatest superheroes with some of the strongest powers in the Marvel Universe, if you really get into the comics here.
Yeah.
I'm going to classify him as yay, yes, because it's not like he was the chosen one. He was just a guy who was in the lab that the spider happened to land on and bite him. If you compare it to other superheroes, Captain America, he was an everyman, but he was kind of chosen for specific qualities that kind of added him up to that. Whereas as far as we kind of think of it, this was sort of a random incident towards Peter. Same thing with Superman. He was sent to Earth knowing that his parents knowing that he was going to get those powers. Peter Parker didn't wake up that morning thinking, my life is going to change today. Captain America, he woke up that morning knowing my life is going to change. Kal-El one day when his father talked to him through the hologram knew, hey, my life is going to change today and I'm going to become this force. So I consider him that just because of he gets thrown into the heroics without really being prepared, which I think is some of the qualifications. It's the spontaneity of it.
Yeah. I guess I from that lens.
One day you're taking out the trash, next day you are taking out the trash, and that trash is a criminal.
Yeah. And if you look into the context of the superhuman world, he's more, I would say, generic or everyday than
He's the guy
everybody
in the
else
small
is.
apartment.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Stark Tower or Avengers Mansion. He's in an apartment in Queens.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Quick side note: how did Andrew Garfield get? Because he's still got bit by the spider, but he had to make his own webs, right?
Yeah.
Is that how it happened? I don't remember that one. It's
The Tobey Maguire where it comes out of his wrist. That's like the only one that can do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was an outlier. More often than not, they have to build the web shooters.
Gotcha.
So,
You're saying just Tobey Maguire is more like superior? Is that what you're saying? As Spider-Man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we are. Yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah. You heard it here, I guess.
I guess we are saying it. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue against you on that. I grew up with that Spider-Man. That was my favorite too. Oh, we just ticked off the younger audience on that one. All right, let's move on to another one here. Another, I would say, lesser known one. Will Smith's character in Enemy of the State. Now, this is an interesting one because Will Smith is known as an action hero, especially up to this point. However, if you look at his character in this movie, he was, I think, more of a Data kind of guy, sort of, not Jack Reacher. What's the one with John Krasinski right now?
Jack Ryan.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jesus, all these secret agents' names. It's all JB, Jax, whatever. Like, get a little bit more original.
And Jack Reacher, I like John Krasinski a lot, but what?
Well, there goes Liam Neeson. Are we going to take time to fix that?
No. Is it? I don't remember the guy's name. I can't remember off the top of my head. Thad Castle.
Yep. Alan Richardson.
His Reacher series, fantastic.
Yep.
Not throwing shade at Tom Cruise because I really like the film with Tom Cruise, but I like those better than the Jack Ryan series. Even though I really like
Alan Richardson.
Nope, Jim.
John Krasinski.
Yep, I really like John Krasinski, but
okay,
I
but
just think
that's a separate character. Though.
I know, but Jack Ryan.
Okay, I feel like I've sent us down a road here. We're not even talking about the character we're actually supposed to be talking about. Here.
Who are we supposed to be talking about?
Will Smith in Enemy of the State.
Oh yeah. I would say he's an everyday.
You consider him everyman? You'd say yay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go yay on this one as well, for sure. Just because, he was not meant to be in the fix of it. But
in the thick of it?
Thick of it. There we go. People say fix of it. No, I think I just made that up.
I don't know.
I think it's thick of it.
My kids say, there's a song that says in the thick of it, and my children sing that to me a lot. And then when I say it, it's not cool when I do it.
Welcome to fatherhood.
Yeah.
Man.
Everything I do is cool.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one here. Kurt Russell, Big Trouble in Little China. Yay or nay?
I would. Okay, well, what position? Do you remember what his like actual position is titled?
I could look it up
because
real quick.
I would say yeah. I would say yeah. Also, I think Jack Nicholson is just a great everyday guy in a lot of his movies. So yeah, I would go yay. Yay. Yay.
Okay, so literally in the description here, it starts off by saying Jack Burton is just a dude. If that's not a definition of an everyman action hero, I don't know what else is.
Yeah.
Let's go yay on that one.
Yeah, let's go yay.
All right. Harrison Ford in The Fugitive.
The Fugitive. Ooh, great movie.
Yeah, this one I'm going to go, in case I didn't say it before with Kurt Russell, I'm also going yay in that one. I can't remember if I did or not. This one I'm definitely going to say yay as well, because although he is a doctor, he's got smarts, he's got intelligence. I'm assuming, I've never been to medical school, but I'm assuming part of their training is not how to elude the cops in a huge manhunt.
Yes.
Which he does throughout a lot of the movie.
Yeah. And not only is it, who's the cop chasing him? Isn't that
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Part of that mini. I don't think the films are connected, but he plays like the same guy in all of them. Yeah, it's great.
You think this Tommy Lee Jones would later go on to join the Men in Black? That would make sense. Right?
Yeah, it would. Yeah. It would make sense.
Yeah. Anyways, we just come up with that theory now? You heard it here first, folks.
Facts.
So you're saying yay officially for this one? All right. Okay, so initially when I saw this film listed, or I kind of saw the picture in the list, I thought it was weird. But okay, so we're going to talk about the movie True Lies. We're not talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, though, however, because he's an FBI agent, so he's not an everyman hero. But the article I was reading on argued Jamie Lee Curtis would count, because she is suburban mom having an affair, but gets thrown into this espionage thing.
Yeah.
Kind of cruelly, I would say. I don't know. That's a whole other argument, but does have to do some very action-y things throughout most of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would say yeah, especially I guess because again going back to what I said before, which was the spontaneity, getting thrust into an action setting that you're not used to,
into situations that you're not accustomed to. Yep.
Exactly. This one I was also surprised to see on these lists here. Eggsy, played by Taron Egerton, in Kingsman: The Secret Service. Yeah or nay on this one?
I would say yeah, because you kind of in the same boat. Just a run-of-the-mill, kind of naughty kid, but super smart, has a lot of skills, but there's nothing really that extraordinary about him until he learns a little bit, does some things.
So I'm going to say nay.
You're going to say nay?
Because there is actually a lot more extraordinary to him. It's kind of thrown off exposition, but it talks about how he spent a lot of time in the military, but left. He was a gymnast, Olympic level material, I think he's even called at one point.
Yeah. No, okay.
And there's even a moment when he does the sleight of hand switcheroo on Michael Caine's character, where he's like, Kingsman's taught me a lot, but sleight of hand, I already knew that. We common types, we have our light fingers and all that.
Yeah.
So
us common folk.
Yeah, which I consider myself pretty common. I don't have light hands, so I don't know what he's talking about being common folk. But he had all these other opportunities, he just didn't really take them, and so it kind of left him no choice but to be in that crime kind of world or whatever. So I think just because he had all that military training, he had all the gymnast training, all that, he had a very big head start going into this action.
And now that you say that, I would agree with you too, because your run-of-the-mill dude is not they might have some sleight of hand, but they don't have the Olympic level. They don't have a lot of that. So I'll
You're gonna switch sides?
I'll switch sides.
All right, I convinced him.
Nay.
Heard it here first, folks. Eggsy. Fraud. Fake Kingsman. All right, coming on to the next one here. Nick Cage from The Rock. There are a lot of action people in this one, including Sean Connery.
You know who helped write that?
Was it Quentin Tarantino?
Quentin Tarantino.
I know you too well at this point that you're just going to say
He's
that.
man.
I feel like.
It's whenever I hear The Rock, it reminds me of the one scene in Lord of the Rings where Aragorn kicks the helmet. Everybody knows about that. And then for me, when everybody talks about The Rock, I say, oh, hey, did you know Quentin Tarantino after that?
Yeah, all right. This is a very off the rails episode I feel like today. So let's get back to the original question. Nick Cage, he had done action movies before this. He would do action movies after this. But is this character in The Rock, is that an everyman action hero?
I'd say yeah.
I'm trying to think. What was his qualifications into this? He was a biochemist or whatever, wasn't he?
Yeah. I don't think he had really like any of the...
But yeah, he wasn't like an FBI agent or anything like that.
No.
Yeah. So I'd agree with you. I think yay.
Yeah.
On this one. Because it is Sean Connery doing a lot of the heavy lifting as far as the action part and everything too. So now this is going to be our final one here. This one I think may be the more interesting one here. Most debatable one.
Yeah.
Neo from The Matrix. He's considered to be the one.
He is the one.
You think that would automatically make him the biggest action hero. But he starts off as just a regular old nerd guy.
I would say because he's technically not in the Matrix. He's just the body cell weird thing. So I would say 100%.
Yeah, I'm going to say yay as well, because a lot of those moves and everything he gets from them putting
uploading
it into his head. Thank you. That's a better term than what I was going to say. But yeah, I just, you think of him as like the one, you would assume, you don't think of him as like an everyman action guy. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're both going yay on that one.
That's what I do.
All right. So yeah, there's a few examples to kind of help you kind of realize what an everyman action hero is a little bit here. And then what are some other examples that you think maybe yay or nay, or maybe what is your favorite example of the everyday action hero, so to speak? Let us know.
One that popped in my head since we were talking about Nicolas Cage, I would say Con Air.
Wasn't he though?
He was a bad guy.
Yeah, he was a bad guy, but like
he's just trying to get home and see his girl.
But does that still okay? So let's remove hero and go everyman action villain. Does he still fall into that, or? Well,
I would say he's still a hero because he's trying to help.
He's a better guy compared to everybody else. Sure, but that doesn't necessarily make him a hero.
True. It just popped in my head when we were talking about
He's the best guy out of all of them. I'll give you that. But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily consider him one just because he had been in that Life of Crime a little bit, at least, right?
Yeah,
it's been a minute since I've watched that one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, it's a good movie for sure. We'll maybe have to do another round. I'll next time I'll have you come up with a bunch and see which ones you kind of throw at me here too. That'd be kind of fun. Round 2. Oh my God, that's a lot of enemies. There you go. What? No, he totally hit that.
Did it.
You done.
Did it.
You done.
You're a computer gamer, aren't you?
I'm not a gamer at all.
You have a PS3.
Yeah, that I use for racing games. Oh no, he's got a hostage.
It's alright, I'll save you. Hitting the button. Dodge. I gotta say it out loud.
Oh my God, that's a tank! But with that, let's move into the weekly preview, where we're going to talk about a very busy movie weekend here. Actually, quite a few to get over here, so let's not waste any time. Thursday, March 13th, the day this video is coming out here, so these movies will already be out. Coming to Hulu, Control Freak. A motivational speaker starts to feel the pressure of a stressful life, or maybe it's a demon. Might be a demon.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Yeah, trailer is interesting.
Okay, so for you, when you say interesting, I can take that a couple different ways. So interesting good or interesting bad, in your opinion?
So I don't know if this is going to be all in her head or if it's like a metaphor. Maybe she has some addiction, or like this is the demons inside of her that come out. I don't know. But it has the possibility to be good.
See, I was leaning more towards metaphor and not so much like an addiction metaphor, but more of, and I think this is something people can relate to more and more each day, overworking themselves. I think nowadays people's schedules get busier and busier, and I think in some people's cases, they have no one to blame but themselves during some of those things. Whether or not this is actually something attacking her or something in her head, I think that it could go either way for that one at least, but I don't know. I thought the visuals were pretty creepy.
Yeah, they look cool. It reminded me of the Everything Everywhere All at Once when she was sitting down and they had all the hands behind her.
That was the other thing is I don't know if last time I saw like a creepy demonic movie so much in the daytime, which I feel like made the kind of demon even creepier.
That was like with Midsummer. Like everything was bright in the day. It made it a little more offsetting.
Yeah,
off-putting.
But doubling down on another demon movie here. That's right. We got a 2-for-1 here.
2-for.
On 2 separate streaming services, by the way. Also coming out here this Thursday, The Parenting, coming straight to Max. This one is more of a horror comedy where a couple is bringing their parents to a secluded house for a fun weekend where they can all meet for the first time. Little did they know the house is haunted. You know, they should really list that on Airbnb. Should be a requirement to put that on there for sure.
Also, I don't know if bringing your parents and your soon-to-be parent-in-laws, like, that's not a good combo. For me, it would be okay.
Do you think they should have gone Okay, so what do you mean by it not being like a good? Like, do you think they should have like gone
Mixing
to one
that-
family and then go to the other family and kind of ease their way?
I think
into it, or?
mixing the families a lot. My family would be okay with it.
Yeah.
And my wife's, we all get together.
Yeah.
I just feel there's probably a good portion of people that
It's
is not
it's to be fair in this movie's case, it is a lot to get used to getting to know people in such a secluded environment.
Yeah.
In such a quick amount of time. I will give
Yep.
you that. I don't think a lot of families there'd be a little bit more chaos.
Yeah.
But anyways, what
Looks funny.
Yeah.
A lot of big actors. Should be.
a lot of big actors.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big cast here for
Yeah.
sure. I would say for me the humor didn't land as much though,
Yeah.
but I feel like that might have been more so for because of the trailer.
Just maybe the editing of the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, but for those
Because this is Netflix, right?
this is Max.
Max.
Coming straight to Max.
Yep.
So, also known as HBO Max, also known as HBO Go, HBO Stream, whatever you
Yep.
want to call it, whatever. But let's move on then to Friday, March 14th. The big ticket item, Novocaine, coming straight to theaters. This movie is about a bank manager who leads a pretty regular life, except he can't feel pain. So when a couple of bank robbers come and kidnap his girlfriend, he takes it upon himself to save her. Look, I get that love can make you do some crazy things, but this was not a smart move on his part,
Yeah.
especially the stealing the cop car part that he
Yeah.
does right away.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
I get it. I get it. Love makes you do crazy things, but if you're going to steal a car, why steal a cop car? That's just
don't
worse.
steal a cop car.
That's just worse.
Yeah.
Don't steal a car.
Yeah.
In general, by the way, okay. Rewind. Blank statement. Just don't steal a car. Let's
Yep.
just end
Let's
on that.
end it there. Yeah.
Let's start there and
Yeah.
end there. All right. I'm not applicable to any Grand Theft Autos that happen in the near future. What do we think of this one?
Well, I like seeing Jack express his getting out there and doing other projects besides the boys. Obviously, that's where I first really focused in. Is like, oh, this guy's a pretty good actor. So it's fun watching him try more things. But I feel like a lot of this is kind of in the same vein of the boys, same vein of the killer robot girlfriend, a companion. So
Can we just say one thing?
yeah.
Don't date a Jack Quaid character.
Yeah, don't do
The
that.
boys, the girlfriend died, first scene.
Yep.
Companion, it was a robot that he tried to frame for murder.
Yep.
Here, you get kidnapped after like one date.
Yep.
Don't date this guy. Whatever character he's playing, don't date.
Yeah, don't get involved.
Don't get involved with him,
Yeah.
man. It's not good. I think the concept of the feeling no pain is very funny. And it looks like there are a couple fun action sequences that I think they're doing some very creative stuff with it.
Yep.
There's a part where, because he can't feel pain, he grabs a frying pan that's clearly hot, but he doesn't feel it. So then the other guy doesn't think it's hot, so he grabs it, and all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, he burns his hands right away and everything.
Yep.
And there's that one part where he's walking through a trapped house. He hits the tripwire. The trap hits him, but he doesn't know it's hit him because he can't feel it.
he can't feel it,
He literally can't feel it. So I do think there's some fun creative stuff to go along with this movie.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, is like you gotta remember too, just because you can't feel the pain doesn't mean it doesn't affect your body the same way. So like, yeah, when he grabs a pan and burns his hands are now like crispy. Like your skin still reacts the same. You just can't feel it.
Yeah. Also coming out this weekend, Black Bag, also rated R, starring acting powerhouses Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. They play two agents who work in British intelligence. However, one of them is suspected for betraying their agency, putting thousands of lives at risk. This begs the question, who are you more loyal to, your marriage or your country? All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot here because of that.
Yeah.
Let's say, hypothetically speaking,
Hypothetically.
purely
correct.
hypothetical.
Yes.
Your significant other stole military secrets. Again, hypothetically speaking. I wouldn't even say, because in the movie they're making it sound like he has to kill his wife or whatever. I wouldn't even say that. Would you turn her in if she did that?
Well, I'd have to get the information first.
Yeah.
So
You'd have to get the information to see if
Yeah.
it's worth
worth
turning her in
because
basically.
especially
That's really sweet, I think.
yeah, especially like in the
Hear her
past,
out.
you know, the government may or may not have approached me and asked me to look into certain people. And I may or may not have done that. And I have my own vetting process. I have all these things. And yeah, sometimes you just got to dive in and take a look and see what's going on.
So
Whether or not I turn her in, don't know.
Okay, so now let's up the stakes. Let's say the military secrets do put thousands of lives at risk. Do you turn her in?
No comment.
That's probably the best answer you can get. Honestly, though, in all seriousness, this looks really, really good, in my opinion. Directed by Steven Soderbergh, and the script was written by the same guy who did the Kimmy movie a couple of years ago that I thought was a very underrated movie, and I believe has worked with Steven Soderbergh a few other times since then. So they've really kind of built a good rapport as well. Yep. Anything else you want to say on this one here?
No, Michael Fassbender, he's really good at that kind of spy, hitman aesthetic.
Except I wouldn't even necessarily call him a hitman. I think going back to our
agent look.
Yeah,
I would say.
An agent. I wouldn't even call him like an action. It kind of seems like Kate Blanchett is kind of the field op. He's a little bit more of the data guy, but he's got that training. So you can't call him an everyman action hero like we discussed before. Yeah. But he's not used to doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and Kate Blanchett's awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Finally, a little bit of a kid movie here. Everything's been pretty adult-themed so far. We got a Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up. Real cheery. Real fun episode here today. Really the one and only kids movie this weekend. After it's discovered that aliens are trying to destroy the Earth, the world turns to the two best people to save us all, Daffy Duck and Porky Pig.
Yep.
Because I guess Bugs Bunny was just too busy for this.
Busy. He's out doing other things.
Got to get that movie done. Got to hit those deadlines, I suppose. You know, the Earth might blow up tomorrow, but whatever. Hit your bottom line, Bugs. As someone who's got kids, what do you think of this one?
I think it'll be good. The Looney Tune franchise as a whole, I would say, is a very peculiar thing. I mean, they swung hard with Space Jam. I mean, that was their last kind of big project, I would say. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't mind. I like I grew up with a lot of the Looney Tunes stuff, so.
Yeah, they're definitely going back to form.
Yeah.
Where it's just an animated world, hijinks ensues. You don't have to worry about live action or anything like that. So I think it'll be good too. Also coming out, Opus. This is an A24 horror film about a young journalist who is invited to a very secluded compound where a big pop star has been residing for decades without contacting the outside world or even releasing any new music. However, it's a big news story. They're finally coming out of retirement, releasing some new songs, and they're picking and choosing the journalists that are allowed to actually come in and report on this.
Yeah.
This might be a mean comparison, but this feels like if John Lennon left the Beatles and created a cult.
Oh, I was going the other direction. I feel like this is specifically aimed at Jared Leto because he is the leader of a cult.
That is a lot better. Yeah. Okay, so let's combine the two. Let's say Jared Leto grew up in the 60s, 70s, left the Beatles in the 80s.
Was as big and famous
as big as them, left around the 80s, disappeared, and this is now Jared Leto.
Yep.
I think that works a lot better.
Yep.
Because I wasn't trying to be mean to John Lennon. Not that he would create a creepy cult. It's just out of all the Beatles, he would probably be the one to do something like that. But I like that better.
Yep.
John Malkovich playing the creepy role here. Who would have thought of that one?
Yeah.
Overall, just kind of, it's an interesting premise. Mm-hmm. And it's another one, we've talked about this before, where it's not like there's a whole mystery of if something's going on. We know something's going on here. The question is what exactly are they doing with this mystery or whatever?
I'm excited. I like culty stuff because you'd be surprised how many active cults there is actually right now. Like I watched a great documentary about the TikTok cult, and it's wild.
Isn't that just everyone who watches TikTok?
True. But this was a little.
By the way, follow our TikTok.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, for all you TikTok cultists out there.
Yeah, maybe we should start a cult.
Nah, that's fine. But
Maybe
I
I'll
am
start a
gonna
cult.
I am gonna definitely take that beginning part you said there about cults and definitely edit that out of context and make that our cold open. Last but certainly not least, another big ticket item here, saving the best for last year potentially, The Electric State. This one is coming straight to Netflix, rated PG-13, based on a graphic novel brought to the screen by the Russo brothers. Maybe you've heard of them. This movie shows a future world where robots and humans coexist. However, everyone seems to be interested in this one particular robot that some are trying to take back, some are trying to hide.
The Mr. Peanut robot.
Yeah, that's the one they're
That's the one they're after.
There we go. That'd be the plot twist. He holds all the secrets. A lot of big names in this one. Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Stanley Tucci. But there's also a lot of voices behind the scenes you may recognize. Anthony Mackie, Woody Harrelson, Brian Cox, Jenny Slate, and Alan Tudyk, just to name a few.
Yep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype around this one, I feel like.
Interesting haircut for Chris Pratt.
Yeah, he definitely grew it out.
Yep.
For sure. So I might be the only one here, but I got a Pokemon vibe from this movie.
Oh.
In that it's you kind of seemed like a lot of people either had like one or two robots that were with them and that they worked with and interacted and kind of made themselves better. And then you kind of had some of the evil corporations that were sort of misusing or abusing the robots.
Yep.
Kind of like Pokemon. You kind of get your Pokemon and you work with them and you train with them and all that. And you kind of work together side by side. And then you got Team
Rocket
doing all the evil stuff here. So that was kind of the vibe I got from this.
Okay. That's a really good analogy, and I think that fits perfect with it.
Okay, good. Good that I'm on base here, not that I was just going crazy.
And Pokemon's awesome. You can relate to so many things. So
yeah, for sure. I don't know. It just kind of felt like it was Millie Bobby Brown and her Pikachu. Chris Pratt had his robot that he was working with and everything during his shady deals and all that. That's just kind of if there's any way to kind of get people kind of interested in this, I think that's a way to do it. It's a sort of a buddy kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so then we will wrap up this episode like we usually do with some number one recommend, not plural. Unfortunately, I don't got one here this week, but thankfully, Ryan here picking up the slack for us this week. What do you got? What do you recommend?
So this is actually a TV series, sort of streaming series, a streamies. I don't know what you'd call it.
I don't know if anyone's ever called it that before.
I had forgotten this came out until a good friend of mine over at the post office, Mr. Tony, told me the new season of Reacher is out. And we're about halfway through the released episode. So if you're a fan of, what was his name again?
Alan Richardson.
Alan Richardson. He's the man. He's awesome. Early fan, Thad Castle. If you know, you know. Yeah, it's great. He's back. He's doing his thing. It's fantastic. Great storyline. Good acting. Check it out on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. Keep an eye out for some other special projects coming out this month, one of which really just kind of depends on me if I have time this week, something I was maybe planning on doing. But the other one I think is more than likely to happen. Each year we do a yearly nerd bracket, where it's kind of a fun sort of NCAA March Madness style bracket, but we do something nerdy, where we pit superheroes against each other. We usually do that once a year. Keep an eye out for something like that. Also, there's been some big moves happening in the world of the NFL, so if you need a little bit of a breakdown on some of those, check out Minnesota Sports Live every Wednesday. I'm sure they're going to talk about that this week. For myself, Ryan, and Carter, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.